Hello everyone, welcome back to A. Marie Cards, and this is the next card in our Major Arcana series where we take a look at all of the Major Arcana cards in the Tarot. Of course, as always, each month we have a different deck that we use. This month we're doing the Good Tarot deck, and so we are now on it's the 7th card, but it's card number 6 in the order, and that is the Lover's card, or in the case of this deck, it's simply called the Love card. Now, in a vast majority of tarot decks, this card will actually have a man and a woman on it. This one's a little bit different as it has a woman and a lion, which is kind of more the imagery that's used for another deck, not another deck, but another card that we'll see in the Major Arcana a little bit later on down the road, about a little closer toward the end, but it's still kind of representing the idea of this duality kind of setup. They always have kind of like a yin and yang kind of thing on one side. You see there's like I believe, if I'm not, astrology is not my strong point. Tarot is, I'm getting better at it, but it's not my strong point. I believe that is the sign for, this is either Leo or Virgo. My astrology folks can correct me in the in the comments. Again, that's not my area of expertise. I'm learning about it, but that is definitely not my area of expertise by any means of the imagination. And you can see the two lions on either side here. So the Lover's card is at first kind of seen as very straightforward, but there's a lot of other levels to this card. So the first thing it's kind of seen as, of course, is a love card. It's immediately kind of seen as, oh, this must mean that, you know, the rest of the cards are kind of related to love, or my love life, or lack thereof a love life, or very like intimate and close relationships in your life. So if it's not about romantic love, it could be about filial or family love. It could be about friendships. It could be about, you know, love between folks that are not necessarily related. So it can be any type of love, although most people automatically put it with romantic love. So obviously it's kind of like it's called the Love card. It's also the card that's kind of associated with Gemini because of the fact that it's like the twins and it has like the two sides. You know, the yin and yang, all those different symbols kind of encompass this card. If you see a Rider-Waite version of this card, I may later on kind of maybe show that, or use a Rider-Waite deck so you can see what it actually looks like in the original form. Like I said, you'd see a man and a woman here between them. So first obvious definition is love, and romantic love at that. The other thing that this card can indicate, though, is that you have a choice. So it often indicates a choice, and it's often a choice that once you choose the path or make a decision, you can't really come back from. So it's like once you go down that path, that's kind of it, and you can't come back from that, you know, from that path. That's a pretty permanent choice that you've made. So the Lover's card, or the Love card in this deck, you know, yes, it represents romantic love in most people's minds, but it also can represent having to make a choice. Now, if you reverse it, obviously, if you're asking about love in particular, and you get a reversed love or Lover's card, that means something's probably amiss, and you'd probably have to get clarifying cards or pull more cards to see why it came up in the reverse. It also could mean that if it's about a choice, it could mean, hey, you may be about to make the wrong choice, and these other cards are going to explain why, or how you can keep from making that wrong choice, something like that. So if the love is, it also could be talking about self-love. So the Lover's card can also talk about self-love and love of self. So if it's not about a choice, if it's not about a relationship of any kind, it could be referencing you. It could be talking about your love for self. And if it comes up in the reverse, it could mean, hey, you need to work on your self-love before you even think about dealing about any of these other, you know, relationships out beyond you. So that kind of takes me to the third aspect of it, which is the self-love one. This can also represent self-love and the love that you have for yourself and your self-esteem and your self-worth and all of that. So again, as any of the Major Arcana cards, looking to see what other cards came up with it, will be super helpful in deciphering, okay, what exactly is it asking about? If this comes up in, say, like a reading about nothing, it wasn't a love reading at all. If you were asking about career or job or anything like that, I would probably lean more toward it either being a choice that you have to make regarding that career. You're kind of at a point of no return kind of decision, or it could be referencing a relationship somewhere in the career. And it, again, doesn't necessarily mean a romantic one. It could just mean someone that you are closely aligned or connected with. And it's like, hey, this connection within your career needs to either be examined more or enhanced, or, hey, this connection or relationship that's related to your career may be suffering in some way or may not be your best interest. And that's when you need to get clarifying cards to kind of explain why that is the case. So yeah, Lover's card. This is probably one of the more straightforward cards in the Major Arcana. This is probably one of the shorter clips on it because of the fact that there's not a lot. This is pretty self-explanatory, I think is the way to put it. There really isn't some great mystical, I mean, I guess you could also kind of argue, as it does with the good tarot deck, is it also references oneness, and that, we need both sides in order to be balanced and be one. So we need the yin and the yang kind of working together. So it could, if you're looking at asking spiritual questions, it could reference that need of balance within self or between you and spirit. So if you believe in a higher power, it could be referencing the love and connection between you and that higher power. Or if you don't believe in a higher power, it could just be referencing your inner connection with yourself, and really being in connection and in harmony. I think that's one of the best words to kind of sum up this card is harmony. Be it in a romantic relationship, in a career, in your decisions that you make, in you and yourself. I think the best way to describe it would be harmony. And that's it for the Lover's card. Again, I'll go ahead and put up here in the tags, if you want the playlist for all the other previous Major Arcana cards. Again, we're on it's technically card 7, but in the order it's card 6. So there are 6 other videos. So we're already well into this series, but there's a tag up there if you want to click on the playlist for all the Major Arcana cards. And we're going to keep on going, with them until we get to the end. And again, March starts a new deck. I can't believe we're already done with this deck. That February went by really, really fast. But yeah, end of next week is going to be March. And so I'm going to pick a new tarot deck to continue with the Major Arcana. So I think we'll have one more that I will record with this deck. And then after that, we'll have a brand new deck that we're looking at to examine the Major Arcana cards. So thank you so much again for joining me. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, night, week, month, and I will see you later. Be blessed. Bye.